Elnar Baynazarov in Moscow, and Elnar is a correspondent for the Russian newspaper Izvestia. Thanks so much for speaking to us. Now, this is a story that seems, very interesting, and lots of perspectives on this. Tell us who is going to Syria from Russia and why.
Good evening, iyi akşamlar. So, for the first to mention, I have to tell you that the tours would be for the people who are interested with the ancient history of Syria, with the history of Byzantine Empire, and with the history of the Ottoman Empire, and with the history of the Arabic Caliphate. Because as you see from these tours, from the advertisement of these two Russian touristic operators, Kilimanjaro and Miracle, they are not offering tours to visit the Eastern Mediterranean, for example, beaches of Latakia or Tartus. They are offering to visit historical sites of Palmyra and the castles of the Crusaders in Crac de Chevalier and other historical places and cultural heritage of Syria, like the historical city sites in Damascus, the Mosque of Umayyah, and the historical center of Alleppo, which is also a UNESCO site. So that's why I guess for Russians it might be interesting because of its historical background and not because of its entertainment. And also Russian companies are taking part in restoring Syrian infrastructure, Syrian hotels. And but the only question for me is why these Russian operators, Russian touristic operators, they are offering tours not directly from Moscow to Damascus, but from Moscow to Beirut, and from the Beirut they are taking bus tours to the Syrian border, where the border operators are stamping your passport with visa for 35 euro. And after that, you go directly from Beirut to Damascus. It's like 1 hour and a half. And I guess, yes.
Lots of questions. But, I understand they're interested in the history. So am I. I lived in Syria myself. I love it. But is it safe? And also, are there, some ethical and moral questions about visiting a country that is arguably still in a civil war for the past 8 years?
So actually that's why the Russian Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Russian Ministry of Tourism, Rostourism, they are also announced that for Russian citizens officially it's not recommended to go to Syria, and especially for single trips, because these trips might be still considered suspicious because of terrorist organizations and terrorist threat, which is still quite still strong in Syria. But as I think these two touristic operators, they are offering special tours, and tours are not cheap, to be honest. They are like $1.6 thousand, which is quite expensive for a tour to the Middle East for ordinary Russian. And I guess they would provide their tourists, this group, with the special safety measures. So these buses will be guided by special security forces, I guess. And maybe this is why they are not taking direct flights from Moscow to Damascus airport, which has been, as you remember, attacked by the Israeli jets on the previous week. Maybe that's the answer to your question. It's safe when you come with the organized group, but maybe not safe when you come alone. But I've been to Syria last year myself, and I could tell that in Damascus it's quite safe because of the presence of Russian military there. I doubt that it's safe in Aleppo in the north, because of Aleppo is close to the border with Idlib province, but in Damascus, in Tartus, and in Palmyra, it's quite safe, and especially if you come with organized group.
All right. Elnar, it's been really fascinating to hear this perspective. Elnar Baynazarov from Moscow, thank you very much indeed for speaking to us here on TRT World.